So I don't expect a lot of people to watch it right now in the live stream, but I know for a fact that this topic is rather really important. So if you're watching this on a live stream, or if you're watching this on a video, which I'm probably gonna do, I recommend you watch this as like a background video, because it's gonna be a lot of reading. I imagine it's gonna be a lot of reading, but it's about a very serious topic that I feel like it's very overlooked in a lot of areas. So I'm actually gonna show you guys the game. One sec. Oh, there you go. There, cool. Fit screen, there you go. Now, there you go. God, that was a rough start, but here you go. Depression Quest, as you can see here. Yeah, you can't see my mouse. It's probably for the best. Nah, you know what, screw it. You can see my mouse, 'cause why not? Yeah, you can see that, right? Yeah, you can. Okay. Depression Quest, an interactive non-fiction about living with depression by Soakin, Patrick Lindsay, Isaac Shigler. Okay, show menu. It's an emotional character is probably mostly indescribable except as a soft up double bind in which any/all the alternatives we associate with human agency, sitting or standing, doing or resting, speaking or keeping silent, living or dying, are not just unpleasant but literally horrible. David Foster Wallace. Okay. So as I think I've said it already, but I recommend you watch this stream/video, depending on when you're watching this, as a background like video or storytelling, because there's gonna be a lot of reading. Not much content, but a lot of reading. Depression Quest is a game that deals with living with depression in a very literal way. This game is not meant to be fun or lighthearted experience. If you are currently suffering from illnesses or are easily triggered, please be aware that this game uses stark description of people in very dark places. If you're suicidal, please stop playing this game and visit this link. Yes, hold on, can I watch the link? I'm gonna actually post this in chat. Hold on. There. If you guys are feeling down or are having these symptoms like depressive thoughts or just anything at all that you feel that is very terrible, just visit the link I just posted. I mean, if you're watching on a video, I might post it there too, in the description of the video. So there you go. The goal of this game is twofold. Firstly, we want to illustrate as clearly as possible what depression is like, so that it might be better understood by people without depression. Hopefully, this can be something to be spread awareness and fight against the social stigma and misunderstanding that depression sufferers face. Secondly, our hope is that it's presenting as real a simulation of depression as possible. Other sufferers will become to know that they aren't alone, and hopefully they'll derive some measure of comfort from that. So there you go. That is very much the information that you have to know before you start. And yeah. So as I've already read this, if you're easily triggered or anything like that, stop watching. Or click the link I have in the description / in the chat. So without further ado, let's get into it. It is early on Monday morning. You are mind-twined human being. You have significantly other named Alex, who you are rather fond of, that you have been seeing exclusively for the past few months. The rest of your social cycle consists of a variety of friends and acquaintances. some who you have met at your daily job, which is a little boring, but pays the rent. You like to be more with your life, as would your parents, but you're still in progress of figuring out what that means and how you get about it. You're also dealing with motivational issues that sometimes make dealing with these things difficult. You feel like this is probably your fault, and on bad days you feel inwardly angry and down on yourself for being lazy. But you're not quite sure how you can break out of it or how other people deal with these feelings and seem to be very functional. You spend a lot of nightfall of not sorry. You spend a lot of nights fixating on things about this, but never seem to do anything about it other than lose sleep. It's an Oh jeez, the music just cranked up a bit. Wait, hold on. Should I lower it a bit? Actually, it's very low. There, is that better? There, I think that's better. Okay. It's an unseasonably warm Wednesday evening. You spent the past 7 hours at work, the past week, or so you found your job motivational flagging more than usual. You've been in a fog particularly all day, simply going through the motions without realizing even what you've been doing half the time, and yet time seems to be moving at half speed. You've so checked out what when your boss approaches you to tell you that it's dead and you can go home early, it barely registers. As you walk home, the street hiss from the recent rainfall. You know that your significant other will be in classes until late, another couple hours at least. You briefly consider using this serendipitous solitude to catch up with the project that you've been working on haphazardly for the past few months. As soon as you think about the work that awaits you at home, you can feel the panic creeping in from the back of your brain. Unburdened, all you can think about is how incredibly far behind you are, and the amount of work seems nothing less than insurmountable. By the time you arrive home, By the time you arrive home and change out the uncomfortable work clothes, the stress is weighing down on you like a heavy, wet wool blanket. Your computer seems to be staring at you down from the desk. You want to sit down and work, but the merge through of trying to work sends you stress levels flying. More than anything, you feel suddenly and absolutely exhausted. You feel a strong desire to simply hide in bed. Do you? Oh, one is completely like crossed out. Oh, you can click on these things. I didn't know that. I would have clicked on Axel or something. His name was. Damn it. Okay, project. A while back, you and some other friends were out at a bar catching up after liquefying considerably more of your paycheck than perhaps responsible and ending up throwing in your cups. You open up with the only people you will really consider yourself close, and at the end of launching up a drunken tirade about the meaninglessness of your utter menial job and unfortunately your own existence. Having never really seen in such a state before, your friends were briefly taken back by your sudden, uncharacteristic outburst. One of your friends suggested that you get involved with your hobby on a more regular long-term basis, suggested that spending your energy on something you actually care about might help you better cope with the shiftiness of your 9 to 5. Although you were embarrassed that you let your guard down and you felt self-conscious at seeming that single-handed brought the mood down at a table, you convinced yourself on the cab ride home that maybe it would be worth trying out. You began your project some months ago and have miraculously managed to keep up with it. Though your level motivational has subsequent effort rises and falls considerably. While you were surprised when you started at how good it felt actually work on something you were passionate about, lately you found it hard to measure the energy to really care about this. Okay. So what we're gonna do, we had to work on a project. So 1. We order some food, grab drink, hunger down, neighbor work. I imagine I lost this option because I didn't click the things on top. And I feel so bad. I wish I would have clicked. Damn. You are depressed, interaction is exhausting, and you are becoming more and more withdrawn. You are not currently seeing a therapist. You are not currently taking medication for depression. Okay, so I imagine these are my priorities that I have to have, or things I must have by the end of the game. Okay, reluctantly sit down at your desk and try to make yourself do something. Okay, no, that seems bad. Turn on the TV, tell yourself it's just need a quick half an hour to unwind from work. No, that won't work either. Crawl in bed, you're so stressed and overwhelmed you couldn't possibly accomplish anything anyways. This is the right option. This one is the very right option. But I can't, because I missed it. Wait, can I go back? Restart game. Yes. Hold on. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna actually read this now. Name Alex. So this is my beloved other. You met Alex through a mutual friend a few months back. The two of you hit it off pretty well that first night, and after a series of initial awkward dates, you finally became a couple, much of your surprise and excitement. Okay, so I'm a female, apparently. Okay. Alex is 3 months younger than you are, and is currently a student with a part-time job at both social circles. She's also got a wide variety of interests, and oftentimes you worry that you might be too boring for her, but she has been good at trying to reassure you that she's happy with you. Your relationship consisted of a lot of nights in watching Netflix. You've been both good time off work, and she doesn't have classes, with the occasional social outing that she tends to have to talk to you in attending. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me move my mic a bit, because I'm leaning a bit to the left here. She tries to be understanding when you are in one of those moods, as she put it, though you are starting to feel like she doesn't understand what it's like for you. It is this source of tension in your relationship, coupled with your you want to go to college parties. This feeds your worry of not being exciting enough for them. Okay. Social circle. Your social circle is made up of a few close friends, some of which you've known from high school and some from jobs that you've worked. You've also made various acquaintances through reluctantly going to social events with Alex, and you kept in touch with a few friends of friends that you occasionally run into. Okay, let me scroll down. You also have several online friends that you talk to regularly, that you feel less guarded with, possibly due to communication from safety of being behind the keyboard. You enjoy the low commitment of friendship, since they don't expect very much of you other than to listen and share personal thoughts and experience. Despite the low commitment, you feel fairly connected with those people, and tend to be more honest with them than people you interact with in real life on a daily basis. Okay, you feel incredibly nervous trying to make new friends on your own, and are very good at talking yourself out of going to unfamiliar places or large social engagement, regardless of how much you may actually want to attend. Meeting new people stresses you out to a high degree, and this is something you wish you could work past. You admit you have a bad habit of flanking on social engagement, even with long-time friends. You are puzzled as to why Some days you just can't force yourself to see those people that you really do care about. Those that have stuck around long enough to be close to you, with understanding that this is one thing that you sometimes do and have seemed to more or less accept it, even though the cheat of you is on occasion. However, you had friends in the past giving you trying to mandate a friendship with you because of this trait, tasking your social anxieties as a personal slight of eventually getting tired of trying to track you down all the time. You feel incredibly guilty about this, but are not quite sure how to engage. Okay. Wait, let me drink some tea. Hold on. My mouth is getting real dry. Black tea with no sugar. That's the good stuff. Alright. Daily job. You have a daily job which you feel really nothing special. You started out receiving minimum wage, but have stayed around long enough to make enough to support yourself. The work is dull and unrewarding. Okay, sorry. And most days you feel like just about anyone could do it. You have a hard time relating to most of your coworkers. You mostly keep yourself and get to work done while you're there. There are none or two people you chat with, though you wouldn't consider yourself close to them. A lot of days lately you have been really hard time getting out of bed and forcing yourself to go in. You're starting to wonder how long you can keep this up. You'd really like to find another job in some of your field of interest, but you feel like you are underqualified every time you look at an online job posting. Sometimes you think about going back to school, but you be unsure how would you be able to support yourself and wonder if a degree would actually help you or would really help you. Would your parents? You're one of the few people who know whose parents never got divorced, but you do wonder if they're still love each other sometimes. You have an older brother named Malgahome who has moved across the country with his wife to work a high paying job. Every major holiday that you see him at, you feel a bit jealous and like the lesser kid despite being genuinely happy to see him. You feel very ashamed of those feelings. Your parents genuinely care about you. This often involves inviting you back to childhood home for dinner. Through you most things you never visit quite enough, but you get the impression that they feel like they don't understand you. They want to see you succeed and don't know why you haven't got farther in life yet because you're so smart and talented. Anytime you try to talk to them about your motivational issues, they tell you that the solution is simply to work harder or want it more. Your father is generally more forgiving of your lack of care path, while your mother seems to be thinking you're too smart to be possible that you're in. You know that love and they're not bad people, but you really feel like a big disappointment sometimes. Yeah, that is something I can relate to. That you feel like people lie. You feel like people believe something that you truly aren't. And I don't know if I would consider this correct. Well, I mean, it's good to tell your kids that they're talented and they can do whatever they want, but if they are in that sort of mood, and I think the main character also says that they try to talk to the parents about the motivational issues, and the parents did not respond correctly to that. I feel like that is something that has to be taken very seriously and should not be taken lightly, because it's like a series of problems. First it's motivational, then it's just you get isolated from all the people, and then that isolation brings more problems. So if you're able to spot those signs of depression, definitely go definitely talk to them about that. Like, how do you feel? How's life going, or something like that, and just stuff like that. So it looks like I can't order this. I don't know why. I really don't know why I can't order this. I really don't know. Maybe it's like another thing I can do or something. Cause this is what I think. Reluctantly sitting down at your desk and try to make yourself do something. That is... By the way he's writing it, it doesn't seem very well done. It seems like the work that you're gonna do isn't gonna be good. And turning on the TV and all of this is just gonna make you lose time, and you're gonna feel worse about it. Crawling back in bed is just gonna raise your depression meter, let's just say. Your depressive thoughts or something like that. So I feel like the best option is this, because I'm hungered down for a night of work. This seems like, by the way he wrote it, it seems like he's ready to do it. And I think that's the reason why they crossed it off, because you're actually not ready to do it. So I think just do something. You make a stop at your fridge, turn your favorite playlist on, and sit down to start working. You open the last file you've worked on, and as soon as your hand touches the keyboard, your mind goes blank. All the motivation and ideas you had when you arrived home vanished in a flash. Your brain sizes up and you find yourself physically encapped in any sort of productive thoughts. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. You won't do a job well done if you push yourself more than you should. You take a break to loosen up, popping into an email inbox, Twitter, and various other internet-based distraction fooder. Frustratingly, okay, I don't know what that is. The pattern continues through the course of the evening. As soon as you try and focus on work, your brain diverses all its energy away from the task. Oh, sorry. Oh, jeez. Energy task at hand. While you keep flipping back to your work, you find a sheer mental effort involved in keeping your brain focused and overwhelming and tiring. A few Twitter arguments, YouTube videos, a spare amount of actual work later, your playlist flips back to track 1, and the ice on your glass has all but melted, diluting the last dregs of the coke you were nursing. You look at the clock and realize that a few hours have passed since you sat down to work, and you made nothing progress. Like, not a lot of progress. I can just wake up early tomorrow and catch up, you think to yourself as you climb into bed, even though you know that actually will never happen. So yeah, I believe these are my objectives that I must have. You must become less depressed, you must see a therapist, and you must take medications. Okay, so I imagine I can take these two with one stone. It's a mild Friday afternoon. Alex calls you from one of her classes telling you that there's not going to be a really awesome birthday party tonight at her apartment that one of her roommates is throwing. You've hung out with this roommate a few times with Alex, and you get along well, even but aren't particularly close. You don't have to work in the morning, and you have nothing else in particular to do tonight. You are feeling kind of run down, but you have been fatigued most of the time lately. You mentioned that you're feeling ill because you're not sure how else to explain those feelings to someone else, and say that you aren't sure that you can make it tonight. There's a second of silence over your phone, but you can answer. But you can swear you can hear the sound of your partner's face fall. Oh, I can relate so much with this. I really can. I really, really can. Like, a lot more than I should probably want. She tries to convince you anyway. You haven't seen her this week, and she sounds pretty insistent that you come over. She even drops a few suggestively worded hints that you can stay over with them tonight after the party. What do? Agree to? Say that you're really not feeling well and you can't make it. Shake off your funk and go have a good time with your girlfriend. These are the types of decisions that really make you. These are the decisions that make you a person. They really are. Well, and that's another thing. I don't know how depressed is this person. That is something I don't know. At what level of extreme is this depression right now? I imagine we're at a simple low level. But I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, you can hear the party. Jeez, you agree to go, even though you're really not feeling social. Damn, I thought it was like a house thing. Well, I think I would have accepted anyway, even though you're really not feeling social. You know it's important to Alex and you'd really like to see her. Seeing her doesn't make you feel better sometimes, and you hope that this is the case tonight, even if it doesn't mean dealing with all the unusual social anxiety. The time to leave rolls around you and grab your overnight bag. Alex's apartment is a short walk away, and there are already people hanging out on the porch. You feel your chest tighten as you approach the building and try to steel your nerves. You quickly find your partner chatting away with the birthday girl, and Alex immediately lightens up when she sees you. I'm so happy you came. I wasn't sure you were gonna make it. A young man taps her on the shoulder and she turns back to you to apologize and let her know that they have something for the party. Alex hands you a beer and plants a kiss on your cheek before going off to deal with whatever came up. Don't drink that beer. Don't. I know what I'm telling you. Don't. As you look around, you don't see anyone else recognize you. Awkwardly stand in the same spot unsure of what else to do. Don't do that. That is not good. Don't do that. Put your bag in Alex's room and avoid crowd in there for a while. Cling to the back of the wall. Sip your beer and wait for the girlfriend to return. No, don't do that. Don't sip beer. Proceed to drink the earnest, hoping to make you less uncomfortable. No. This is when bad things happen. This is what I would do. I would do this. So sipping the beer seems like a so bad idea because you lose control and then you regret it later, especially when you have social anxieties and all that. You go back and you regret everything you did, said, or done. So I would go to this. You take your beer and shift through the crowd until you arrive at Alex's room. The room is actually empty of other partygoers, and you still sit on her bed as you set your bag down. Thankfully for the other personal space and feeling a lot less claustrophobic, you mess around on your phone while you sip your beer. I think it's inevitable to sip the beer. But I don't know how this person takes beer. Hopefully she takes it well. You keep telling yourself that you'll go back out in 5 more minutes, but every time that time rolls around, you go back to feel the panic creep in, and you stay rooted to this spot. You figure out no one here knows you anyway, so it's unlikely that you'll be missed. A few minutes later, Alex comes into the room. Oh, there you are. I was wondering where you've gone off to. I figure I might find you here. She sits down on the bed next to you, buzzed enough to be slurring slightly. I'm really glad you turned... Oh, pidgeys. I'm really glad you turned up tonight. To be honest, I really didn't think you'd show. It's really cool to see you, really. You know she meant it lovingly, but you're not quite sure how you feel about the statement. Ooh, there's a car honking outside. Hopefully it's not being robbed. Hopefully. Okay. Hold up. So, if there are any viewers that are new here, I recommend you watch this or listen to this story on the background. You know, so you're doing something else and then you listen to this on the background. That is my recommendation. So yeah, let's continue. It's a little afternoon on a muggy Saturday. Your mother has come over for a surprise visit, calmingly loud that she does. Wait, what happened to the party? Did it end? I think it did end, but I'm glad I came there. I wasn't in the party spot, but I came because of Alex. I feel like that was the right thing to do. I think. Calmingly loud, but she doesn't see you enough, so she decides to invite herself over. As you converse, she walks around your place, and you get the distinct impression that you're being inspected. So what's going on with you lately? She asked abruptly. Taken somewhat God, what are all those noises? Somewhat abract by the left field, you tell her that you're not sure what she means. She repeats the question, saying that you haven't seemed like yourself lately. She gestures to the dirty dishes spilled in the sink and notes the fact that you haven't called or visited in a while. You I don't know these words. Reticency only seems to spur her. Her one more. She presses you, asking if you have problems at work or with Alex, and you're beginning to feel incredibly battered by her sudden well-meaning overwhelming in question. Bad touch. Under her questions, you become incredibly uncomfortable. You want to be able to explain her how you're feeling, but the truth is you're not really sure yourself. Nothing horrific has happened to you at work or with your significant other or friends or anything like that. But all the same, you can't deny that lately you've just felt drained, as you thought you weren't really here. You wish you could tell your mother these things, but she hasn't approached about negative emotions in the past. She is kind of person who holds the opinion that the solution of any problem is simply try harder and maintain as possible attitude, a stance that has rearrayed its hand in the past conversations when you begin to explore the subject with her. You know she's unlike to be understanding, and you feel the energy drained out of you. If you imagine what would happen if you managed to blur out everything that you're feeling, what do you do? Let her know that you've been feeling down lately and let her appreciate her concern. Try to be honest with her anyway. Tell her that everything is fine and thank you for asking. Change the subject. This is sad. It is. She says that just to feel better, just try harder. It isn't. I feel like the best way to get out of this is inform yourself. Like not in the usual just get help sort of way. I think in the sense that you should like learn what is around you, learn how to identify like open doors, closed doors, and like paths you can take. I feel like that is the best way to go through this. And talking to family is a way, but I think this way is closed. I think this way is closed. I think the family way is not there. But it wouldn't hurt to try, right? It wouldn't hurt to try. You attempt to tell your mother your feelings despite initial misgiving that you have about doing so. Finding the right words or how you're feeling feels like trying to untangle Christmas lights. Wow, that is very fitting. A bit too fitting, let's say. Searching for the dead bulb in the cluttered mess, she watches you intently and audibly sighs before you can clearly articulate anything. Unfortunately, she reacts predictably. An attitude like that won't get you anywhere. You need to work harder and get what you want instead of sitting around feeling sad about it. Nothing good will happen unless you make it happen. She isn't angry or spiteful as she tells you this. You try to explain that it's no matter of that, but you can tell you're not going anywhere. The frustration chokes the words in your throat, and you give up trying to push the subject further. You know she's giving you the advice that makes sense to her and genuinely wants the best for you. However, she doesn't understand that it's not as simple as somehow deciding to be positive or work harder, and that those things aren't viable options because of these feelings. You accept your defeat, and the conversation drifts out to another subject. She leaves after chiding you to call her mom. God damn, fireworks so loud. Okay. Things aren't viable, these feelings, you accept defeat conversation. You call her more often and take better care of yourself. You sigh heavily as you close the door behind you and spend the next few hours laying in bed, staring at the ceiling. It's a lazy Sunday morning. You are idly clicking around online as your phone rings. Sam, a coworker of yours that you're friendly with, asks you how you are and makes hurried small talk with you. You typically only ever talk to him on the phone when one of you needs to shift cover. So it's slightly awkward. You've waited in anticipation for him to ask you to come in the short notice when he veers the conversation in a completely different direction. How do you feel about cats? He says. Mine had kittens a few weeks and I'm having an awfully hard time finding home for the last one of the little. You don't have any pets, right? Oh, accept it. Oh, I swear, accept it. That's the best thing you can have. I swear. Unless it dies, then in that case it can be really bad. It takes you a moment to process that new information, and you've caught off guard as he begins to earnestly try to sell you on the idea of taking the last kitten off his hands. It's not something that you had specially considered before, and he seems fairly insistent. She's a real sweetheart, really loves people, she got all her shots already taken care of, and the vet says she's really healthy as a horse. I can bring her over by your place tonight if you're interested. You look around your apartment and try to picture a cat in it as he continues to tell you about how cute he is. You tell him that this is all kind of sudden and that you don't have anything for the kitten to set up here. Oh, don't worry about that. I can bring over a litter box and food and all that since you'd really be help me out of a fix. It is the least I could do. I just want to pull her in a shelter. You can't help but feel this, you're being guilt-tripped, but you have decided to give it some serious consideration. It does get awfully lonely around your apartment, and it might feel less empty with a cat around. However, since you'd be feeling down, So it might be not a good idea to take on responsibility of a cat, even if they are fairly low maintenance. Again, what is this? Am I missing clickables? I think I am. Damn, I'm not paying attention. I think I am missing clickables because there aren't options. Take the cat knowing full well that you can take great care of it. Decline even though you'd be totally capable of taking care of it. You're not much of a cat person. You're not much of a cat person. I mean, it's fine, right? I mean, what is the most damage a cat can do? Okay, I'm looking around my house to see something that has happened. I mean, they like to knock stuff down. That's pretty much it. And they piss around some areas, but you can train them on the litter box. Become a cat owner. You could use some companionship. Decline, you're not a good enough place to take more responsibility right now. Decline, you don't like cats. Become a cat owner. Yay. Aw, look at that cutie. Aw. I need to drink tea. My god, my throat is killing me. One sec. Alright, you accept the offer of the kitten and hang up shortly after making arrangement for when your coworker can drop off her tonight. After hanging up, you worry about if you're suddenly taking on a responsibility that you can't handle and hope you don't make a small animal suffer for it. That is important, but I believe in you, man. I believe in you. I believe you can do it. You're not entirely sure what to expect, and you spend the rest of your afternoon researching cat care online and trying to think of a name. Call it something cute, please. The evening rolls around you and you hear a knock at your door. Startled, you go out of reading Wikipedia entirely too hard. You take possession of a small, terrifying black and white kitten in a carrier the door and open the door to the carrier excitedly. Wait, what? She cowers in the back of it, and you back off, feeling slightly defeated. You remember what you researched on introduction a kitten to a new home, and leave her along to go mess around on your computer, hopefully checking over your shoulders ever so often to see if she has come out yet. She hides inside her carrier periodically, making sorrowful cat howls, long enough for you to start worrying that she already doesn't like you. But by the time you go to bed, she curls up at the... Aww. Yes, this is what you need. Oh jeez, fireworks. This is what you need. I feel like this is a step in the right direction. She curls up at the foot of it, eyeing you nervously before falling asleep. Oh. Don't roll over it now. Oh, please. Over the next few days, you gain her trust and she begins affectionately following you around, sleeping on you and hopping up on your arm. You sit down and do some work. Oh, great. Step in the right direction. That's good. That's good. It's late Friday afternoon and quitting time is just around the corner. A bright, clear day is giving you way to still temperate evening. You can hear your coworkers all around you anxiously making plans of their evening and weekends, but you're really looking forward to just going home and resting after what's turned out to be a very long and taxing work week. Just before the end of your shift, you get a call from Alex. It seems a group of your mutual friends are heading at a nearby pub for dinner and drinks to celebrate the end of the week, and they want to know if you'd like to come along. You attentively tell her that you're emotionally exhausted from the work week and socially outing like that would just take too much out of you today. You encourage her to go and have a good time since you know it has been a while since she's gone out with friends, but the effort feels futile since you know that she isn't going to go with you. A couple hours later, the two of you find yourself in a familiar position. On the couch, watching comedy shows on Netflix, a box of pizza open on the coffee table in front of you. As you look across the couch at her, you start to feel anxious. You feel bad about effectively forcing the two of you to stay in tonight again, while you are always appreciative of your partner's effort to take your feelings into account and help you measure. I'm not missing clickables, right? 'Cause there's not a lot of options left. I'm actually freaking out a bit. Wait, I'm lost. Where? You stay tonight, but you always appreciate your partner's effort to take. These fireworks, man. What can I tell you? You see that the value you could possibly offer to her in return, worst of all, this nagging fears have made you feel worse, self-conscious than ever, withdrawing ever inwards as you start to pull away even from Alex herself. What do? You know, despite the bad times, your girlfriend sincerely loves you. Relationship are two-way street, and you resolve the way by for her like she has been for you. Tell Alex how important she is and to enjoy your evening. Ask Alex if she's happy with your relationship. Don't say anything. You're always worried about being upset with you. I don't know. I really don't know. Because if you ask, and this has happened to me before a lot, where you ask if someone wants to continue something or like if they are feeling it, and or at least in my opinion, a lot of people have responded in a way of, oh, you want to stop, or like you want to not continue. So in that aspect, I'm a bit like not too sure about that, because that has happened to me a lot, like a lot more times than I can tell you. So if I ask, I imagine it's gonna be like, well, are you not feeling okay with the relationship? But I don't know Alex. I read a little bit about him, but I don't know him to a personal level to answer this. The way he says it here, don't say anything, you're already worried about her being upset with you. That is not... That's not a good mindset, but if you are depressed, yes, these things happen to you. And you start thinking like this. Upset with you. This is far from the first time you would have had this conversation with her, and it's not only that plays out the same way every time. You explained your fears of being worthless. Wait, did I click the right one? I don't know what happened. I guess I chose something. She tries to tell you that she doesn't see you that way. Did I click the wrong thing? Ah, damn it. Maybe I did, I don't know. Or maybe it was like a trick question that it was actually the opposite of it. I don't know, but whatever, I'll roll with it. You insist that she is based or just being nice to you because she's your girlfriend and she gets frustrated. It never resolves. Nothing new is ever said, and rarely you do feel pressured by it. Occasionally she tries to brush the subject, trying to rediscover why you feel like this about yourself. This always makes you feel nervous. You're sometimes convinced that the only reason she's still with you is because she doesn't know how awful you really are. As time has gone on, you've gotten more comfortable trying to express bits and pieces of your insecurities to her, but it still causes you to feel every on guard, and it's not a conversation you can have for a long time without worrying you're going to scare her away. The weight of an unspoken, unresolved issue in your relationship joins you in the room for a little while, but you dare not pick at it for the rest of the night. God, I might actually have to cut the story, because I'm almost an hour in. I don't want to, but I don't have that much time. I think I'm gonna make this decision and... Ooh. Well, there are sounds, and there are sounds that are coming from my house, and there are sounds that are coming from the game. Looks like I'm cooking, so I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna end it, because I don't have enough time. It's a breeze Sunday afternoon. You've allowed Amanda, an old friend from school that is on town for the weekend, to talk to you into leaving the house for a coffee and catch up. Yes, I would love that. Do that. You meet her in a small cafe and talk about what you've been up to since the last time you've seen each other. And you can't help but feel like there are a lot of more accomplishment and interesting than you are while listening to them talk about their life after school. When it's your turn to brief them on your activities, you feel anxious and ashamed and give them a very abbreviated version. You try to talk about your job as little as possible, and you feel incredibly boring while you describe it despite her expression sincerely interested in you and your life. Amanda has known you for long enough to read your mood and tone of voices. She leans into you, asks the question while gently touching your hand, a look of genuine concern on her face. What's wrong? Do you suggest the change of location and confidence on her honesty? Test the waters and open up a little. She's hoping she'll understand. She will understand, I think, hopefully. Because again, I don't know her to a personal level, but I believe she will understand. She knew everything, the mood and the tone, so I imagine we're extremely close. Defensively asks what she means by that. No, wrong move. Notice that your hands are shaking. And since these are both bad, but this is worse though. This is like a bad, but bad. Notice that your hands are shaking. Ah, damn it, I was supposed to leave it there. Well, damn it, okay, I'm gonna read more. Whatever, I'm reading more. This is really interesting. But let me drink some tea. Okay, in the next decision, I am gonna have to leave it there, because I don't have a lot of time. It's such a small question, but it feels like a blow to the gut. You surprise yourself when you realize that your tightly clenched fists are now beginning to shake slightly. Despite your best efforts, you feel tears begin to sting out of your eyes. You try to disguise this, but tilting your head up and praying that they'll suck back in, she suggests that you two get out of there, and you feel mortified. She offers you to go back to your apartment with you, but the two of you end up taking in her car for 2 hours as the words just pour forth from you. Amanda seems unsure of what to say at times, but she listens and rubs your back as you sob and talk. She asks if you have gone to a doctor about this, and you admit that you haven't. She mentions that her mother is seeing a very good therapist in town and offers to ask her about it. You're not thrilled about the idea of going to a therapist, and even less thrilled that Amanda might be telling someone about your problems, but she persists and tells you she'll email you a doctor contact information later this week. Okay, we have the session next, so I'll roll with it. It's a glaringly sunny Monday, and one of the other few days that your brother Malcolm is in town and free long enough for you to actually see each other. You have a dental appointment today, but you have plans for him to pick you up afterwards. Your appointment takes a little longer than expected because your dentist tells you that you've started grinding your teeth in your sleep to a worrying degree. Yeah, grinding your teeth while you sleep. That's actually a fairly serious problem that is overlooked a lot, because I saw a video of a man that his teeth were so small that they equaled the size of like a toddler's teeth. And then they showed a video of him trying to bite an apple, and he couldn't bite an apple. So yeah, this is a very serious problem. Given how nearly everything in your life has been feeling enormous and stressful lately, this doesn't come to a surprise to you. He suggests that you try to reduce your stress levels and fits you for a night guard. It feels awkward and too big for your mouth, and you feel embarrassed looking at your puffed out face in the mirror with it in. You finish up the appointment in a hurry and leave about half an hour overdue for meeting your always punctual brother in the parking lot. You finish up as quickly as possible and leave the building to snag the parking lot for you, brother's car, but you don't see his old Civic anywhere. You pass by a blue Camellia and jump as it's beeping at you, causing you to jump in surprise. It takes you a moment to realize it, but it's Malcolm in the driver's seat. You hop in the passenger seat and compliment him on his new ride, as he mentioned that it's a perk of a promotion he recently obtained at work. He starts telling you about how much more money he's making, how his career is really taking off, and how he's starting to look at houses with his wife, son. You clutch your bag containing the night guard in your hands, and you feel yourself clench your teeth as you think of your crummy apartment and how long it has been since you have been able to take a day off without having to work about making ends met. He's only 2 years older than you, but it feels like he's eons ahead of you, even ever other aspects of your life. So he asks, how did your appointment go? Did you get thrilled, full of holes, or what? You sense a shame creeps over. Lie, tell him it was a routine cleaning, tell him about your tooth grinding problem, but none of the stress is causing it. Laugh about your dorky night guard with your brother, tell him about the night guard and why you need it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it here. It was an hour, and yeah, I think it was a little below or above an hour, but I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this experience. I am gonna continue it. I promised I wasn't gonna do episodes on this, but man, it's way longer than I expected it to be, cause I couldn't calculate how much it was actually gonna be, cause in the page it only said you can finish this within a day, but I was like, how much is that amount? So I didn't expect it to be that long. I imagine it's gonna be like 5 hours long. Let's just say 5 hours long. So I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, also Genshi, hello. Thank you for coming in. I lost you because I wasn't here. Sorry, I was reading. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video / stream, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I think I will leave a link in the description for the game on YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.